to ensure Bakhmut is not just a stronghold that holds back the Russian army. The fight for Bakhmut will change the trajectory of our war for independence. When I was in Bakhmut yesterday, our heroes gave me the flag, the battle flag, the flag of those who defend Ukraine, Europe, and the world.
Last night, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke before a joint session of Congress. Now, during his speech, he mentioned several times the city of Bakhmut. Bakhmut is extremely important, and I'm going to head over to the wall here, if you have it. It's extremely important, Bakhmut.
Yeah, these maps, Michael, you know, you're so good at explaining them to us. And I know that President Zelensky was in Bakhmut even just before he traveled here to the United States.
Exactly. In fact, he was there literally the day before. And why? Why are we talking about Bakhmut? Bakhmut, if you look at it, this, again, the Donbass region. Now, Katrina, you and I have spoken about this Donbass region so many times. It's the eastern side, right next to Russia, where they have been fighting since 2014. And it's been going back and forth in Donetsk specifically and Luhansk. But Bakhmut, this is a crossroads. This is an area that is literally a logistical hub for the Ukrainians. This is how they supply their troops that are fighting in this, you know, vital area of the Donbass. This is where everything comes together. If Russia was to take control of Bakhmut, okay, they would then be positioned for almost every single offensive going to the rest of the country to the west. And that's literally where the Ukrainians have been staging. Again, this is a logistical hub. This is where everything's coming. It's an actual crossroads. You can see the lines of these roads all coming together and how they lead right across into the Donbass. So this is extremely important. And a lot of battles have been going on here because strategically, when you're looking at the map as a warrior, you're thinking, where can I gain ground? Where can I have the advantage? Bakhmut would be an advantage for the Russians, as it is right now, extremely, extremely important to the Ukrainians.
Yeah, Michael, thanks so much for that. And we're going to continue the conversation. Joining us now to weigh in, former senior naval intelligence officer John Jordan. John, great to have you with us here. Now, during his speech, President Zelensky made a passing joke about the weapons that the United States has been sending to the Ukraine. Here's what he said.
We have artillery. Yes. Thank you. We have it. Is it enough? Honestly, not really.
You know, President Zelensky has been criticized in the past for asking for more and more and more and more and more. Do you think that the United States should be giving heavier weaponry and more aid? Of course, we knew the Patriot battery will be going to Ukraine.
So sometimes you have to take the world as it is, not as you wish it were. It's not possible for the United States to live in isolation and just say, these are other people's problems and stick our head in the sand, because sooner or later they wash up on your shore in one form or another. So the question then becomes the war of the calculus of war. And in this case, if Russia is not defeated, if Putin's aggression is not defeated here, if international law is not upheld, if these treaties are not upheld, Iran is watching, Beijing is watching, North Korea is watching, and you're going to have to pay for this somewhere else, because if they see this happen, if they see the Russians succeed here, we're going to pay for it elsewhere. And so it's much cheaper here for us and the taxpayers to be sending weaponry and not troops on the ground. And by the way, in terms of weaponry, this is a small fraction of our annual defense budget, which is over $800 billion a year. This is a small fraction of this. So in the calculus of war, this is actually a bargain in terms of America's national security.
You know, John, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert posted her own reaction video to the Twitter via Twitter last night. This is what she had to say.
Sadly, what I didn't hear tonight was a clear explanation of where the first $50 billion we sent to support their efforts went. Until Congress receives a full audit on where our money has already gone, I will not support sending additional money to this war.
So, what do you think about what she's saying about the $50 billion not really being spoken about?
Yeah, first of all, in terms of the military aid is completely accounted for because it's drawdowns from U.S. inventory. Most of it's not money just being spent overseas. The weapons are actually accounted for in U.S. warehouses and then itemized and transferred. So we know exactly how much has been sent. So I think Congressman Boebert needs to look into that a little bit. Yes, Ukraine is a messy place. When on the other parts of our aid, which is financial, which we send to Ukraine to prop up their government, make sure they can meet their payment obligations and so forth. Yeah, that is a messy business. Nobody's saying nobody's pretending otherwise. But again, you have to look at the cost of doing this versus the cost of not doing it. Those are your choices, not sitting there saying we're going to audit, and not send aid and let Russia win, because if Putin wins this, it's going to be way more expensive down the road. So I think Congressman Boebert needs to join the rest of us in the real world here.
And of course, $45 billion more just passing approval as the Senate voted to push forward that omnibus spending bill again. So $45 billion out of $1.7 trillion will go in aid to Ukraine. Again, John Jordan saying we do need to help them. John Jordan, thanks so much.
My pleasure.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the truth. No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.